It's beginning to look a lot like a podcast. Everywhere you go. Chance is with me here, and I'm your host, Raph. We got candy canes and record buttons that glow.
Wow.
It's beginning to look a lot like a podcast.
Yeah.
One that's Christmas themed. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
This is what I came up with in the car on the way here.
It's pretty good. I mean,
Thank you.
Are you gonna put?
Yeah, just like I did last year. But,
Yeah.
You know, it's not as well thought out as that old one. Welcome to the Forest Creek Podcast. It's me, Raph, as I said, your host, and I'm joined once again by Chance.
Hello.
We're back for another Christmas podcast. I was just saying, the one we did last year, Into the Santaverse, was one of my favorite episodes of this podcast ever. We had a lot of fun on that one.
Yeah. It was so good.
And the impetus for it was that the impetus for that podcast was that the Santa Claus show came out on Disney Plus, and we watched the first couple episodes of it. A show starring Tim Allen that's like a follow-up to the Santa Claus movies, where, again, the backstory to that show is pretty hilarious.
Yes.
I think it's like a good pitch for a 90s comedy to
I'll
be like,
say. Yeah.
a guy walks out of his house, sees Santa Claus walking on his roof, yells at him, Santa Claus slips and falls off the roof, dies, and if you kill Santa Claus, you must replace
Santa.
him. Yes. And so Tim Allen becomes Santa Claus. And then they have a couple other things. Basically, I think the point of it is that it is quite literally a clause in a contract where every movie, every episode of the TV show, they're like finding out another layer to this contract, and they have this thing that's like, they bring this contraption over with magnifying glasses and pull up the magnifying glasses to read the increasingly finer print. I'm like, who wrote this? How do you even get this microscopic with a contract? But there was like, the first movie was like, if you kill Santa Claus, the clause is that you must replace him, apparently, which is a weird way to decide who's Santa Claus, but we hashed it out in the Into the Santaverse battle when the multiverse of Santas went to war because there can only be one. And then the second one was, I think, Santa Claus must get married.
Yes, that's right.
I don't remember what the third one was, but I remember Jack Frost being involved as kind of the villain of that movie.
I think that was Martin Short.
Yeah,
as Jack Frost.
Yeah, Martin Short is the guy who also played the villain in the first Spy Kids movie, didn't he?
Did he? I'm sure he was in one of them for sure.
I just remember that energy of like, I'm the weird guy in the castle with the thumb people as my
people. Man.
Yeah. Children's movies in the early 2000s.
I think really Sylvester Stallone is in one of the Spy Kids movies as well.
I remember that. I don't know exactly what he did, but it sounds like it fits, you know? And then the Santa Claus TV show, at least the first season, is like, it's basically talking about like, hey, you've been Santa Claus for quite a while now, you get to retire. Which means you get to pick a new clause. I forgot what they called it, but it's like the something clause.
Succession.
The successus clause.
Yeah,
something
like that. Yeah.
And then this one is not really a contract stipulation.
No.
In this one, it's more like there's an evil Santa.
Yes.
Who was before you, and now he's back to take over the whole thing. The big pitch to this season, this renewed season of the Santa Claus TV show, is that Gabriel Iglesias is in it.
Yeah, okay, I never finished the first season. Was he in the first season?
No.
Weird. Because he just kind of like pops in the second one, and I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I think, well, Fluffy, the comedian, as we all know him, hilarious. He's awesome. He did another TV show for Netflix earlier, literally called Mr. Iglesias, and he plays a high school teacher.
Oh yeah.
And it was at the time where Netflix was like greenlighting sitcoms left and right for like different comedians and stuff, and one for Stone Cold Steve Austin.
What the?
Oh no, sorry, it wasn't Stone Cold Steve Austin. It was The Big Show. There was a sitcom for The Big Show from WWE.
Yeah.
And it was called The Big Show Show, and it was just The Big Show just being the Big Show with like a family cast living at home.
Did you watch it?
I did watch it.
Was it?
I also watched all of Mr. Iglesias, and then they did a crossover episode.
Oh my goodness!
Where Fluffy showed up in the show with the Big Show.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like the Avengers.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if season 3 of the Santa Claus show, the Big Show, shows up. It's like the Big Santa. We've only seen the first couple episodes. Let me just tell you how I encountered the second season of the show, because the first time I encountered it, it was a moment of joy.
Yes.
The second time I encountered it, I was in a slump in what I call post-birthday depression of like, oh damn, I'm older now. And I was just sitting at home alone. I was like, I'm gonna drink this wine and I'm gonna order a pizza.
Nice.
And I just need something to be on in the background while I'm, eating this pizza. And I discovered that this new show, this season of the show, come out. And of course, for whatever reason, people are like, oh, it's mid-November. It's time to begin celebrating Christmas. I think the rule of thumb in Canada is that like we just wait for November 11th. After November 11th.
Should be the rule.
Yeah.
There's definitely Christmas stuff before then in stores and stuff, but
yeah.
It should be waiting. You should wait.
You should add a little bit out of respect. Let's just wait a minute. Like, take a beat for the dead people.
Yeah. Actually, November 12th is kind of crazy to start, but
it's like
at least
nuts.
Wait until.
My personal rule is the 21st. After the 21st, do whatever you want, because I need to turn a year before I start thinking about Christmas.
Yeah.
And it happened to be like the 26th or something when I turned this show on. So I was not really, I'm going to be honest, I was not paying a ton of attention. I was like, oh, Fluffy's in this thing. And I was like, I just went back to the pizza.
Yeah.
Because they do a new hot honey Brooklyn pepperoni pizza. And it's pretty fantastic.
Is that from Panico?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Actually, I've been discovering honey on pizza at like a number of different pizza restaurants.
It's like a thing. And it's so good.
I love it.
So good.
It's just putting a little bit of honey, so spice things up. My mom put a twist on this thing. She's like, oh, if you can put honey on pizza, I'm going to put maple syrup on grilled chicken.
Oh.
And it wasn't bad.
That's kind of like
bad.
chicken and waffles type thing.
It's like a grilled spicy chicken she made, and then we're like, let's just play fast and loose with condiments and just put some maple syrup on this chicken.
Totally.
Turned out pretty good.
Yeah, mustard on French toast.
But as a result, I was pretty in and out of those first couple episodes. Yeah. From what I understand, basically, what they reveal in the previous season of the show is that there's a succession of different people who come to inherit the throne of Santa, the throne of the North Pole, and the job of being Santa.
Right.
And I guess I don't know what age it would have been in like the medieval times, the Viking times.
Well, I took notes.
Do you want to do that at the front of the microphone so it sounds a little better?
Oh, that was good. Hey,
yeah.
I took notes.
Yeah.
1307 AD.
1307. That's like which crusade again?
Crazy Train is playing
for whatever reason.
And we're introduced to the Mad Santa. That was weird. That was a weird start.
Yeah, they really went hard on like, we're gonna license Crazy Train. All aboard!
Yeah. And did you notice who the actor was?
No.
For Mad Santa? I had to look it up because I was curious. I'm like, he looks so familiar. But it's Cam from Modern Family, the big guy.
Oh, no way!
Yeah.
Yo! It's funny, I heard that like, the guy who plays his husband in that show is a gay man.
Yes.
But the guy who plays Cam is straight.
He's not. Yeah, he's straight, yeah.
Which is like, which of them makes the more convincing gay man, to be honest? So this Mad Santa.
Yeah.
He's quite literally a medieval Santa.
Yeah. His name is Magnus Antis, which I guess the joke is that kind of sounds like Mad Santa. But
yeah, he even like says it at one point. Is like, oh, you know what? I'm actually hearing it now as I'm saying it out loud. Magnus Antis.
It doesn't really sound that much like it, though.
I mean, I guess. I didn't really understand what is it that made him mad exactly.
He's angry. He's just an angry man.
He's just an angry Santa?
Well, I would assume they keep flashing back, so I would assume if you and I had kept watching the whole season, we'd find out.
I'm gonna go home and binge the rest of it tonight just to find out.
Well, after our last episode, I Santa was going to finish the first season, and I never did. So I came into this one very confused.
I did just because I became obsessive about the Santa lore. I just wanted to know where I could sneak myself in.
And
the side hustle Santa dreams did not end for me.
And the lore in this show, it's deep. They just keep adding layers.
Yeah, because there's always going to be
Yeah.
another clause to this contract that I never signed. I just killed a guy for it. Again, killing the Santa Claus makes you the new Santa. Mm-hmm. So I can, here's the thing. If Magnus Antus, whatever his name is going to pick up a medieval mace and bash the head of the previous Saint Nicholas and take his place, I can believe that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But it's just a weird way for the elves, the children elves, to go, who are, again, played by children, to go, oh, you just killed our boss. You get to be the new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very strange.
The act of violence really disposes you well.
It makes me wonder, are all the elves suffering immense PTSD and trauma, or are they emotionless?
Well, apparently, two interesting things about the elves.
Yeah.
One, they don't seem to care at all.
Yeah.
It's like they're pretty fine with it.
Yeah.
But they do have they have a Rumspringa for elves.
Yeah.
I noticed that actually comes up too.
Cribble Crabble clause.
Cribble Crabble clause, where they oh, it's time for your Cribble Crabble. It's time for you to leave the North Pole.
Yeah.
And go live among humanity for, I don't know how long it is, a week, a year.
Yeah, I don't think they said, at least not where I got to.
It was revealed in the previous season that, you know the guy who used to play, Tim Allen's head elf?
Yeah.
Yeah, he leaves on his Cribble Crabble, and he just doesn't come back. He, gets married and settles down.
Oh.
Yeah, and they bring the old actor back, and I'm like, oh, he did age a little bit. But it's funny, because he always just looked like a teenager among kids anyway.
Yeah.
So it's you kind of wonder.
But he's an elf, right?
Yeah.
So he's not supposed to age.
No.
But the actor aged.
The actor
of course
aged.
he did.
Yeah, I guess the effect is oh, you left the North Pole, the magic kind of left you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No.
You say no, it's not interesting?
I'm saying no, you did not look good after all that. You didn't. It's someone who did not expect to be back on TV and is suddenly back on TV.
Yeah, because Disney offered him some cash.
When you play a role like that, people are immediately going to hold you to what you used to look like when you were younger.
Yeah.
It works out in The Karate Kid. it doesn't really work out. Not Karate Kid, Cobra Kai. Yeah.
But that guy, the actor who plays the Karate Kid, what's his name? Do you know his name?
Ralph Macchio?
Yeah. He's 60, and he looks like he's 40.
He looks pretty good.
It's crazy.
He actually stuck with the karate.
Yeah. Did he?
I guess so. I don't know. His character did.
His character did.
His character is an annoying white car salesman who's really into Japanese culture all the time.
Yeah,
he brings it up at every opportunity. Oh, you like sushi? I was like, will you calm down a little bit? So, do you ever do anything that's American?
I, just like last season, I felt like it was very strange watching the kids, the elves, played by human children, acting as if they're in a relationship with each other. That's made me uncomfortable.
A couple of the main elves are married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very strange.
What's that home life like, I wonder?
Do elves have kids?
Do elves here from what we gather in the Will Ferrell movie Elf?
Oh yeah.
They just sleep. In the months outside of December are sleeping.
I don't think that's the case in the Santa Claus's universe, though.
So it's they celebrate Valentine's Day. They're already surrounded by chocolate and candy anyway.
Yeah.
So I guess they do something romantic, and then nobody wants to picture what happens.
But what's romantic for two 900-year-old elves who look like they're 10?
Well, I'm sure they spice things up.
Okay.
Which we don't want to picture again because children. Yeah.
One of my notes just says, this is like a real show or something. I don't know what I wrote that in reaction to.
One can only imagine. Well, it'll probably come up. So far as I can, what is the plot that you were able to pick up?
So Mad Santa was a guy.
Magnus Antus.
Yeah.
And he was a Santa, and we don't exactly know why he was mad.
Yeah, but I guess at one point in the past, the elves like turned him into a nutcracker.
Yeah, and like that's their way of imprisoning him.
And then it's revealed that
and then Fluffy
Gary
accidentally lets him out.
Gary, the elf with the eye patch,
right,
sold the Nutcracker like 300 years ago.
He was like this. He's like gambling, the security elf.
To pay off his gambling debts.
He was the one that made us laugh the most when we first watched
maple syrup. He's always swigging his maple syrup.
I have a problem. It's like, why are you depressed?
That kid's pretty funny. Yeah, why are you doing exactly?
But here's the thing. It's like I touched on this the last episode too. The last podcast we did. Is that there's something about Xmas Sadness. I love it.
Yeah.
It's like thematically, it's beautiful to me. It's like if I was to write a Santa movie, I think I pitched it to you. It was like he just wanders. It's like it's Christmas Eve and the time is ticking and the elves are going crazy because they can't find him. Yeah. But Santa has become like dissociated and like kind of, what's the word? Disappointed. Not disappointed.
Disagreeable.
Nope. It's like... whatever. He's become unenthusiastic about it. He's just kind of like lost faith in Christmas, and he wanders into a bar where like in Christmas Eve, where it's like it's the most depressing part. It's a dive where like a bunch of depressed people who don't have anywhere to go, and he just sits there watching the clock, and he's just like doing the thing. Yeah. I think I came up with the thing about at the end of the movie, it's the clock strikes, it's Christmas, but Santa's OD'd in the bathroom at the dive.
yeah.
It's like I just like that. I can get like I don't understand why you would be Santa if you were angry, but I can kind of see you getting up at the North Pole and like looking up in the mirror and be like, what is my life?
Yeah.
What am I doing? It's like I'm supposed to be spreading cheer, giving all these things, like, but I live up here in the North Pole with children? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, it seems, though, that Scott, the current Santa, is, like, I think the North Pole magic affects the way his brain works, because he's kind of dumb. He's
kind of delighted to be Santa all the time. It's like there's got to be something about consuming that much sugar.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's interesting because like the Santa physiology is different than a human being. Mm-hmm. When the magic takes over, you just start eat like that much just to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Right. You constantly consume candy and sweets.
Yeah, you're craving sweets.
You're like the kid from Chocolate Fever. You ever read that book?
No.
It's a book about this kid who like he can eat chocolate and never get sick, and it like always keeps him happy, always keeps him full, like never gets anything, and then one day he just gets chocolate fever, which shows up in like little brown chicken pox style spots on him.
Wow.
But it's like he's like Santa has like chocolate candy fever basically, where he can just like it's his regular diet. Is
sugar is nourishment.
Yes.
Him.
Yeah. And it's like they're trying to get him up to weight.
Yeah.
In order to keep him healthy.
It's pretty funny. Honestly, the premise of the Santa Claus universe is pretty good, pretty funny.
I wonder if it's like you become Santa and your brain starts to like take on a different Santa neurology, and you're just like your thought process is all candy canes and
maybe that's
sugar
why
and stuff.
Magnus Antis was so mad.
He's trying to be himself.
Yeah.
That's the struggle, is like to find the identity of Magnus underneath the Santa.
He's just trying to discover himself.
What do your notes say?
What do I have next? The kids, Scott and his wife's kids, have superpowers now.
Yeah, so his daughter can talk to animals, and which she finds out really quickly is annoying.
And she seems to have some other kind of like energy powers, but
we didn't watch that far. No.
And then the son, as far as I could tell,
he's like enthusiastic about being the next Santa, but also enthusiastic about keeping his girlfriend at the North Pole.
Yeah.
Which it's a teenage love.
Yeah. So it's funny.
That's not going anywhere.
But the kid Cal, he's pretty dumb.
Oh my god. I just figured out the plot line to my depressed Santa is that he gets divorced from Mrs. Claus in the North Pole. That's something like you don't think it would happen, but like she just looks up one day and she's like, what am I doing here? And then she leaves him. And that prompts
him. So she's trying to get the North Pole in the divorce.
Just like this whole enterprise is going to be run by Mrs. Claus now.
Yeah. So then she remarries. Side hustle Santa.
Oh my god. He's like CEO Santa.
There was a weird music number, which was a cover of Dancing with Myself.
Yeah, I skipped through those.
But it was called Dancing with My Elf.
When anybody ever starts singing in a TV show, it's my rule of thumb. I just skip through it. I hate Big Mouth. For that and many other reasons.
Yeah, I didn't even watch that.
Anything where people start singing, I skip through it. I did it through The Boys. Sorry.
So you just don't like musicals.
Here's the thing. There was a time where I was in a musical. Mm-hmm. And I was a little bit into musicals. And to this day, like, if you show me stuff from, like, Singing in the Rain or The Book of Mormon, like, I won't turn it off. Yeah. But I'll never purposefully go to a musical that isn't, like, the opera.
Right.
If it's, I don't know. What's a musical?
Sound of Music?
I'll never see The Sound of Music.
Wow.
But I'll see Don Giovanni.
Oh.
It was like, I'm pretty good as musicals go. I especially don't need them when I don't want them in TV.
Yeah.
Skip. I know nothing good's happening here. There's no story being developed. It's just people singing. Just wasting my time with la 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 la. We're good. Fast forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like musicals always have that one song that's like a filler song, as well. Like, you'll finish the song, you'll be like, that didn't. Because
it didn't advance the plot.
Yeah, usually a song in a musical does something to advance the plot.
In a musical. But in a TV show, it might, like, elaborate on an emotion.
Yes.
But it doesn't advance the plot.
Yes. Betty, the head elf Betty, gets to go on her cribble crabble.
Right.
Which is very,
yeah, she's like
Yiddish sounding.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Rim Rum Springer.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is, like, if you didn't know anything about Amish people, you'd be like, are these Jews? I'm kidding. I'm absolutely kidding. Very pro-Israel.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. That's another joke. Joking.
I'm pro-human. And then, her husband, Noel, suggests different places she can go visit on her cribble crabble, and he says New York City, Paris, Area 51.
He's like, okay, so it's like she's the most stern head elf, and he's like the goofiest one, and they're like married.
Yeah. Yep, it's weird.
I wonder how far elf civilization extends, because like, do they have like an entire little industry of elf wedding planners?
Well,
how many of the elves actually work in the factory?
That's the thing, because when they talk about Bad Santa, that sounds like Bad Santa. That was a movie.
Bad Santa was someone else.
Yeah. When they're talking
about... my head is always starring Vince Vaughn for some reason.
When they're talking about Magnus Antis, they say that he moved, like, Santa HQ to the North Pole. He's the guy that brought it to the North Pole.
Where was it before?
Europe. They just say Europe.
Just Norway.
But maybe...
It's funny, it's like, did he just move it like 10 inches up? Like,
yeah.
What happened exactly?
Yeah. But then they say that he invited all of the elves in the world to the North Pole, which implies there are elves all over the place, like Oompa Loompas.
If I was Santa, I would move the North Pole. I'd move HQ to the Amalfi Coast. I'm going to drive to the factory in my Bugatti. Right. So he's crazy because he moved the HQ.
Yeah, I
to
guess.
a discreet location.
Yeah.
Which sounds like something that you should do, honestly.
Yeah, if you're Santa?
Yeah.
Totally. Because they're saying that humans are trying to steal the Christmas magic. That's why he moved it.
It sounds like, this sounds like a reasonable thing to do.
Yeah. So far, sane Santa.
Sane Santa. I don't know what's mad about him exactly.
They referenced the Yule verse, which I didn't see because I didn't see the first season.
Yes, so the Yule verse, that's quite literally, it's the Santa multiverse.
Is that like when Aang goes back and sees the past avatars?
A little bit. It's almost quite literally that. It's like they point out that Scott is supposed to be like the first human Santa.
What are the other
And that
Santas?
the previous iterations were like all imaginary.
Oh.
Yeah. So when he took up the mantle, he became the first human to become Santa.
That's weird.
And all the previous people were like, oh, Father Christmas the legend.
Are they implying that Saint Nicholas is not a real person?
I guess so. Unfortunately. But we became divorced from the Christianity aspect of Christmas a long time ago. I wonder if you walk around, like, how devout are the elves? It's like... Is there like a schism of like Catholic and Protestant elves, I wonder?
Yeah. I wonder where the elves land on the Israel-Hamas debate. It's
genocide!
Goodness. There are elves on both sides.
Who do you think built the tunnels?
There are elves on both sides. What's my next note say? Oh yeah, Betty leaves on her Cribble Crabble.
Just hang on one sec. We're joking. Don't at me. God forbid we try to bring some pleasantry and holiday cheer into the world.
Yeah. The world's on fire. We can make a joke about it. That's
it's never not on fire. What do you want me to do?
Yeah, exactly. Betty leaves on her Cribble Crabble. Immediately, Noel begins burning documents.
Yeah, it's like he's trying to cover stuff.
He's trying to cover up the mad Santa so that Scott doesn't find out.
Yeah, I think it's like, because what's implicit there is that the elves betrayed a Santa and turned him into a nutcracker. It was like a...
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I'm trying to think of like what was another movie where that happened, and I can only think of X-Men Apocalypse.
Oh, yeah.
Where in the beginning, like, they have Apocalypse and he's like a pharaoh, and then he gets betrayed by one of the ancient Egyptians. And
that was the only good part of that movie. The opening sequence.
There was like a couple parts that I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like there's the part where they're playing like Metallica and the Angel's like turning into the evil version of Angel.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. Anyway, back to...
I'll take your word for it. Mad Santa breaks out of the nutcracker in Fluffy's shop.
So that happens because Fluffy's character is like in love with Christmas.
Yeah.
And trying to keep his Christmas town up.
Big Santa fan.
Which I'm not sure how a business like that runs for the rest of the year.
Yeah. What do you think he does the rest of the year?
I don't know. It's like, hey, if it was like, oh, this is a nice little rustic town.
Yeah.
And then in the winter, we cover everything in like fake snow and put up lights and stuff and do a whole thing. Yeah. It's like, that makes sense to me. But like, you got to do something for the rest of the year, right?
Yeah. I wonder what he does.
It's like, if your business was to grow Christmas trees.
Yeah.
Is to grow those trees and then you only sell them at Christmas time.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you keep the business the rest of the year? Do you have, how many trees do you have to sell?
I'm assuming they either sell a million trees or they do have another job. They must have another job.
Or you could just sell them for regular landscaping purposes.
Yes.
You know? But those are trees. They're pretty, again, all year round have a use and a sale, right? Mm-hmm.
Cupid shows up and talks to Santa.
Right. They introduced that, I think, in the third or second movie, is that all the people are like friends. There's like Gaia, Mother Earth.
Yeah.
There's a Father Time. There's a Jack Frost. There's a Cupid.
Yeah.
There's like the
Easter Bunny.
The Easter Bunny's a thing. They don't have a dude for Halloween. Yeah. Do they?
Why isn't the dude... Okay, so Cupid calls them legendaries. All the other legendaries are worried, is what he says.
Legendaries. I wonder if there's like a dead soldier for Remembrance Day or something.
Why isn't the Easter one a crucified Jesus?
It's like the legendary. It's just Jesus walks up. It's like,
resurrected
Nick,
Jesus.
Scott, we're a little worried.
That would be...
Me and the other legendaries.
Yeah. They're worried because Scott wants to make Cal the next Santa.
It's also like an interesting mix of mythology, because Gaia and Cupid are both like ancient Greek mythology. Yeah. It's like, well, Cupid specifically is like the Roman name of Eros.
Yes.
So it's like, but carry on.
There's a really funny scene where Cal's girlfriend sees Cupid and is like, oh, cute baby, even though Cupid's like a 70-year-old dude.
In a diaper,
floating.
Yeah, it's like, oh, jeez.
And the girl's like, oh, cute baby, and starts doing peekaboo, but then Cupid like falls for it. It's really weird scene.
Very strange. Yeah. It's like, it's one of those things that like, I think about that sometimes in a writer's room. Yeah. In a movie, you don't have to make that joke.
Yeah.
In a TV show, you kind of do, because there's quotas of like, it's kind of like, it's part of the play on why Family Guy or Simpsons or South Park have to be the way they are is because there's a quota of how many jokes per minute you have to meet.
Yeah.
So it's like, you don't really have to do that in something like this. We're in the streaming world now. Mm-hmm. But we gotta make everybody cringe just a little bit.
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
So it's like...
It was funny, actually, after she finished the peekaboo and walked away, Cupid, like, snapped out of it. He said something like... He's like, that was humiliating, or something like that.
This is like Cupid. Cupid's gonna be in my Depressed Santa movie for sure. It's just like, it's just all of the legendaries, they come and sit down in a circle like it's AA. And they're like, man, I shoot all these people with arrows all the time, make them fall in love, but which one of these arrows is for me?
Yeah.
You know?
Santa threatens to tell Cupid's wife the truth that it took like 5.5 arrows to get her to fall in love with Cupid.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's like he's a 70-year-old man in a diaper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh wait, no, it's like that's how the movie starts. It's Cupid slips up and tells Mrs. Claus, like, yeah, I shot you with an arrow to make you fall in love with Nick.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow. And then she has a whole thing. She starts drinking because she realized that's why the divorce happens, right? Because she realizes the marriage is a sham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like the idea that now my movie is Santa sitting in this bar, and it's just a series of flashbacks going back and forth, and then intercuts with like the elves panicking at the North Pole.
Where is he?
Where is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like gritty though, this movie, right?
Yeah, very, very gritty. There's like a little bit of gray in his beard. It's not like a pure white fluffy thing of snow. There's like a little bit of gray. There's some stress on the Santa.
There's like a scene of as like the movie's climaxing and like it's about to hit midnight or whatever, the clock's about to say it's time,
Yeah.
And then there's like a shot of like the head elf. Someone's like, where's the head elf, and they like open the door to the head elf's office, and you just see their feet like dangling.
Oh my god. It's like it cuts back to Santa, and he's like tying the belt around his arm. He's like trying to feel a little bit of this Christmas spirit. Sorry everybody. I know this is a hard thing to listen to.
Santa asks Cupid, I'm reading my notes again. Santa asks Cupid about his situation with his family. And Cupid says, that's tough because I really only deal in romantic love. Plus, as you know, I can't have kids. And Santa says, how would I know that? And then Cupid just moves on. I thought that was kind of funny.
Like, as you know, I can't have kids. Yeah. It's like, well, hang on. Why?
What does that mean? How would I know that?
Okay, hang on. Doesn't romantic love kind of have a purpose? If we're looking at this like biologically.
That's true. That's an interest. I feel like that's a whole nother conversation.
Wait, so holy crap, it's like another layer to the depression is that Cupid is impotent.
What's the point? Yeah. He's making all these happy families.
It's everybody's suffering through their own existential crisis. Like even the Easter Bunny's sitting in the AA meeting and he's like, it's not about me. I'm terrified of my own existence. I'm going to go to hell one of these days, guys.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to answer before the Son of God about why I usurped his holiday for the atheists.
There's a running gag where Scott is trying to... He can never get Magnus Antis's name correct. And he says Magnus Angina.
Well, like...
I thought that was pretty funny.
That was kind of that was a little bit. Come on, Scott. We know you're trying to throw the word vagina in there. Just
yeah. My next note says, started watching Auntie Donna. I got distracted.
Well, they were. Did you watch Auntie Donna's Big Old House of Fun?
No, I never did watch that.
That's actually a really, really hilarious sketch show. Yeah, it's not. I would say it's not as good as I Think You Should Leave by Tim Robinson, but Auntie Donna is really funny.
Man, funnier than they should make a Santa show. That's what they should do.
I swear they've got to have something Christmassy in there somewhere. But the thing is, like, as soon as it's like the rule of thumb with them is that as soon as they have something Christmassy in there, it's gonna immediately not be Christmas anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like they're a Christmas in July type of people, I really like the bit in the first season of the show. Scott goes to visit his own son, who's like started a successful business and living with his wife and kids in his house.
Like,
he's like
regular son. Yeah.
He's trying to convince this guy who has like his whole life together to like, hey, abandon all of this and come live in the North Pole and be Santa.
Yeah.
Don't you want to take up the family business? I was like, what business? How much money do you make?
Yeah.
I want to be like Wolf of Wall Street guy. Show me the number right now. I'll quit my job. I'll come work for you. You show me your pay stub.
If you work at the North Pole, that like the pay is that you are at the North Pole.
It sounds like it's good benefits. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But like when the elf decides to stay in the Crubble Crabble.
Yeah.
Does he get a 401k?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
What is
it? He just goes and gets a job, I guess.
Right. And like, can you imagine how much of a letdown that would be?
Yeah.
To work in like, I don't know, a Sonic instead of
or
like
Amazon
a corporate office or
Amazon
something.
warehouse.
Yeah. Oh my god, that would be exactly it. It'd be like an inverse North Pole is to work in the Amazon warehouse. That is the North Pole for us, you know. It's like
Bezos is Santa.
Yeah.
He's our universe's Santa.
I was watching the Futurama reboot.
Is that like the?
Oh yeah. There's
new one.
It's on Disney Plus. Yeah, they have like a new season of Futurama.
I heard about that. I didn't know it was out.
They do a thing with Mom Corp being Amazon, and it's just progressively getting bigger and bigger. It starts with like a moon base, but it's constantly expanding.
Yeah.
And then it just expands to the whole size of the universe, and they're like, oh, I guess we're just pretty much living life as normal again.
When's
with just more convenient delivery service.
When is Amazon gonna get a moon base? That's what I want to know.
They do have Blue Origin.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff Bezos has Blue Origin. Yeah. It's not necessarily an Amazon thing, and right now it's just orbital flight.
Yeah.
For tourism.
It's like low orbit too, right?
Space tourism.
Yeah.
But William Shatner went up there and he was like, "This is amazing."
Yeah. Well,
sure
can you really trust anything that guy says, though?
William Shatner?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's Canadian.
You know who else is Canadian?
Drake.
Exactly.
I don't know. What were you gonna say if I didn't answer Drake?
I was
Justin Bieber. Celine Dion.
Know. I had a few names going through my head, but none of them were actually that funny.
I was trying to answer a quiz at one point. It was showing me like Drake, Justin Bieber, Celine Dion. Pick one of these Canadians. I was like, can I pick like someone else?
Pick one for what? Just like who's the best?
Yeah. Let me pick the F1 driver. Somebody else. Like.
Okay,
Nickelback.
But if you had to
pick Nickelback.
All right.
No.
If you had to pick one though, one of them.
One of those people?
One of them.
The problem is I don't listen to any of them.
Okay, but the other two are dying. Get one you get to spare. Which one?
That's a significantly difficult thing for me to do.
Celine Dion, Bieber, or Drake.
Who would you pick?
To save? Probably Celine Dion.
Do you listen to Celine Dion?
No.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I mean, I don't have strong feelings.
Are we expected to worship these people because they're Canadians? Can I pick somebody else? Can I resurrect Terry Fox? Is that a thing I can do with this?
Bring him back.
One thing, you know who I'm going to pick every time? My favorite Canadian of all time? Keanu Reeves.
Oh, man.
Bam. Just nailed it right there.
You know, my dad refuses to pronounce his name correctly.
He told me about this one.
Keanu. He always says Keanu. Keanu Reeves. And we're like, what are you talking about, Dad? Yeah, man. And he knows.
I was watching the show Inside Job. It's like a Rick and Morty ripoff that they did on Netflix.
Oh.
And at one point, one of the plots is that character in the show starts dating Keanu Reeves, and she starts calling him Nunu. And I was like, oh my god, this is so...
That's weird.
But it's an okay show. I just feel like they picked the coolest possible thing.
Yeah.
Which is the show is about these guys who work for the deep state and they deal with a bunch of conspiracies and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But the whole show is just basically hardly scratching the surface of a conspiracy and then calling you stupid for ever like engaging with this. I was like, well, if you're going to do this, I'm not going to watch your show. And the main character of the show is a ripoff of Rick. She's just female human Rick.
It's a cartoon?
Yeah.
I never heard of this show.
It's actually like, it's even drawn very similarly to the Rick and Morty style. It's like, made me sad. They did 2 seasons. I don't think it's coming back. It's sad because like you could have done so much more. You squandered your potential. Anyway, so what else is in your notes?
Well, it is at this point, as you could probably tell by the Auntie Donna note that I got.
Auntie Donna.
I started getting distracted. There's only a little bit left of my notes. Mad Santa is seriously impressed with Fluffy's iPhone, which I thought was... They always have to do that kind of thing, don't they?
He is from the 1300s.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I imagine he would be.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. We didn't even really start celebrating Christmas this way until like the past 100 years.
Yeah.
What was 1300 Santa even
doing?
That's
probably why he's mad.
It's like I
have nothing to do.
Recruited to this thing, given all this responsibility, and there's nothing really to do with it. It gives me pause. It gives me pause to wonder who it is that was expecting. You people didn't even have chimneys.
Dang.
It's like, people needed to have chimneys before there needed to be a Santa. The peasant in his thatch hut suddenly. Well, here's the thing that I have seen is that Santa will magically make your fireplace accessible.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's big enough, whether or not it has like the chimney or any of that stuff, he'll just show up and your fireplace will like, because you have a nice fireplace. I'm looking at it right now. It's one of those nice glass ones.
Yes.
Where
Electric.
I assume heat comes out of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's electric.
Yeah.
You're gonna flip a switch and this fire display is gonna come up, and it's nice to look at. Gives you the warmth, but you're not gonna like chuck something in there. You don't have a poker.
No.
Yeah. It's safe. It's modern.
Yeah.
But if Saint Nick shows up,
Yeah.
it will suddenly become an old-fashioned fireplace and will expand to fit him.
Yeah.
And whether or not you had a chimney, which I assume you don't.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
He'll somehow be able to fit down here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, actually. I guess, does the chimney just appear on the roof?
What if I live in an apartment without a fireplace? What do you do?
There must be a scene where he comes in through like an electric heater, you know? Like one of those old heaters you see.
It's just like, it's one of those tiny floor vents.
He just comes
it's
out
like
of
the
that.
shoe size. It's gonna like expand to fit a fat man.
And he climbs out of the floor.
My sister and I used to have this tradition where every Christmas she and I would watch the Family Guy special Road to the North Pole.
Oh yeah.
Where Stewie insists on going up to the North Pole to meet Santa Claus, and then they do, and they find out that the whole place is going to hell. And Santa Claus is explaining, it's like, you don't understand. It started off with us making simple toys, and then it got way too complicated. People started asking for way too much stuff and way too complicated things. Have you ever tried making an iPhone, Stewie? So the elves are like, years and years of inbreeding have basically turned them into like very like
weird little gremlins or something.
Yeah, pretty much. And then they work and work and work until eventually they just walk out of the factory and they fall dead
into the tundra.
And then the cannibalistic reindeer just eat them.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
It is pretty horrible, but it is. The songs in that show, those are good.
You don't skip those ones.
No. I sang along. Christmas time is killing us. Like I said, I like Christmas. I actually enjoy it. I love the decorations. I love the cheer. I love what it's about.
Yeah.
But there's just something about sad Christmas.
Oh yeah. We talked about that last time, and I think about that conversation pretty often. It's just that somber.
It's something delicious.
Oh man.
Christmas time is here.
It's just like dark.
Because here's the thing. I was thinking about this too. It's like, if you have, and this goes for like any type of celebration, a birthday, for instance, is supposed to be a nice, happy thing. You're celebrating that you accomplished another year of your life. But if that year is not awesome, if you failed to do something, if things didn't work out for you, you're going to come around to that birthday being like, oh no, this is a reminder that time is running out.
Yes.
And the same thing is true of Christmas. It's like, it wants you to be in warmth and family and hearth. It wants you to give gifts to people. And if you can't manage that stuff, it's one of the most, I think it always came up to me because like the expectation of romance around Christmas is always interesting.
Yeah.
'Cause it's like, all I want for Christmas is you. And it's like, if you don't have that person, all of these songs, like this major portion of the holiday fall flat. So it's like, what else does this apply to? Well, if you're poor, you can't buy gifts, can you? And now it's like, Christmas is a worry. I work in marketing. All holidays to me are not holidays. They are marketing events. People go, oh, nice, it's Christmas. Me, I have to draft emails and social media captions and put together graphics and like coordinate a sale. It's not the same. It's not a signal for enjoyment. The signal for enjoyment to me is it's 5:30, I'm going home. And if it's Christmas, it means it's 7:30, I'm going home. You know? So there's like, the thing is, a holiday, especially something as beautiful as Christmas, raises the expectation. And now that you don't meet that expectation, if you weren't even meeting your regular everyday expectation of life, and now suddenly it's in the roof because it's Christmas time, it's like, now if you don't measure up to that level of happy, Mm-hmm. It's like, well, you can embrace the other thing. Be a little bit sad.
Yeah.
Be a little bit sad on Christmas. Yeah. Just look at the twinkling lights in the darkness.
Yeah.
Isn't that there's something beautiful about it?
Oh yeah.
Just this. There's little hearths of warmth and brightness, but outside is like this vacuum of frozen death.
It's dark and cold.
Yes.
Empty.
The sun disappears.
Yeah.
Fast.
Yeah.
I came home really late one night, and then I slept in on the Saturday morning. And when I woke up, there was like a couple hours of daylight, and then back to darkness. It tricks your brain a little bit.
Yeah. They made a reference to that in the show, where Noel couldn't remember what time of day it was when he met Betty, because it's the North Pole. And he was like, it's kind of confusing, isn't it? Ha ha ha. There's lots of jokes in this show like that where I'm like, okay. It felt like, they're meeting a quota, right?
Yeah, right. It's like, why are you guys doing this?
Yeah. Yeah, there was my last note is Mad Santa is on the loose. He's out and about in this like weird Christmas village, and he's giving kids walnuts because that's what Santa does. Mad Santa does, I guess, in the 1300s.
Well, here's the thing: is if you were in the 1300s, you're like, "Oh, thank you, Lord, a walnut."
Yeah, exactly.
My family is saved.
And he's throwing these walnuts like so hard at people, just like shocking them. And then he gives it to a kid, and this kid's like, "I don't want this crap." And the kid's like, "I don't want this walnut. I want Roblox."
Which is a digital thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
and it's free.
it's free to play.
Yeah.
I guess there's like Roblox monies in there somewhere.
But then those are called Robux. And then he should have said that. And then Mad Santa says my favorite line of the show, which is, "Who is this Roblox they keep speaking of?" That's my last note. I thought that line was pretty good.
Who is this Roblox they speak of?
I guess Roblox enters the Santaverse.
Roblox is one of the legendaries.
Yeah.
Oh my god. He's like a Minecraft looking person. He's just
a blocky guy.
I never played Roblox.
No.
I hear about it and I know it's got like some actually pretty cool potentials.
Yeah, it does.
As a game.
Yeah.
But to me, I would never stuck around to make it distinct from Minecraft.
No.
I never played much Minecraft either, so that doesn't help. To me, it's just a bunch of blocky people running around doing blocky things.
There's similarities for sure. Definitely.
Yeah, but from what I heard, I'm actually like, it's pretty interesting to me. Like when kids say, "I'm playing Roblox," and it's like, well, what is the game Roblox? Oh no, it's like a multiverse of games.
It can be anything
because you can program your own game into it, which is super cool.
Yeah,
you can program a North Pole.
Who wins in a fight then?
Who?
Santa Claus, Celine Dion, or Roblox?
I think we know who the real winner is, and it's definitely Roblox. Celine Dion is mortal.
Yeah, well.
And if you don't believe me, look at your main Spotify playlist right now and count to me how many songs are by Celine Dion. Okay? If we want to look in how much money each of these people have raked, Celine Dion is going to fall behind Santa.
Yeah.
And one of these days, Santa's going to fall behind Roblox. Because guess what? Roblox is all year round, baby.
Did you ever write a letter to Santa in elementary school?
I think I remember doing that.
As like a school thing.
But when I think about what was in that letter, it was a threat.
Yeah.
I was like, I love the Boondocks does an episode where it's like, I can't quote it directly because there's an N-word in it.
Okay.
Just
say Roblox instead.
Roblox. It's like, I'm gonna get you, Santa, and you're gonna pay what you owe. And it's just Riley running through and shooting mall Santas with BB guns and like terrorizing them. It's hilarious to me.
Because I know that like here in Canada, there's an address you can send your letters to.
Yeah.
Like Canada Post has an address, like the North Pole, you can send it to. If you want to send a letter to Santa.
What's the point?
I think...
Is it just like...
I think there's someone at Canada Post that'll send you a letter back.
Is it?
Probably like a generic letter, I would guess.
To just say what? Like, hey, letter received, processing?
Thanks. No, like, it's like from Santa.
It's from Santa. Is it like, is it copy pasted?
Dear, thank you for writing your letter. So nice to receive a letter all the way from...
Blank. I hope you've been good this year.
Yeah, Santa. Yeah. Now I wonder, do you think in the United States they have a similar thing and he lives in Alaska?
Dear Santa, my name is Farood. I live in Gaza Strip.
I only have one. There's only one thing I want for Christmas this year.
That is. Sorry,
that
everyone.
Is to move on from this bit. Do you think Russians? Because Canada. In Canada.
Yeah.
There's many countries that have a claim on the North Pole.
Yeah.
Canada claims the North Pole.
Greenland also.
Greenland, Russia. Norway, and the United States.
Norway and the United States. Yeah.
So obviously in Canada we think North Pole Santa's Canadian.
I think geographically it actually just makes the most sense that it's Canada.
Yeah.
Because our northern archipelago stretches up that way.
I think, yeah.
Thematically, to me, it's like if you're looking for the traditional cultural roots, I'll give it to Norway.
Yeah, totally.
If you're looking for who's dominating the market, I'm going to give it to America.
Yeah. I guess Santa
Alaskan. Feels pretty American to me, bro. I don't know about y'all, but it's like, again, we went over this in the previous podcast. Coca-Cola decided how Santa looks.
Coke Santa.
And now we all go by that.
Yeah, that's so true.
I don't know when the last time you bought your kid anything other than a red crayon was to do this. But that's the color of Santa, bro.
And Mad Santa in the show from 1307 AD is like dressed like brown and green, like has furs on him.
He wears like furs and has holly around him and stuff like that.
I like that. I like his costume. He also has a gnome, which apparently the elves are really racist towards gnomes.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know if you caught that, but
how many of these magical creatures exist and how many of them have gone extinct?
There was another weird racist thing. Let me look at my notes again, actually, because their daughter finds that she has magical powers, so she goes to talk to the Christmas witch.
Right.
Which that was a weird thing.
It just started existing in the first season of the show.
I guess there's a Christmas
witch.
There's
just a Christmas witch, and we have no idea what purpose she serves.
And
is she a legendary?
Then so she goes and's like, hey, is it okay if I hang out with the witch some more? And both of her parents are like weirdly racist towards witches.
Well, no wonder.
They were like, oh, well, that's good, she's one of the good ones.
So, well, she's one of the good.
She's one of the good ones.
Well, here's the thing.
She can't help that she's a witch.
When you say witch, it kind of implies that it's an angry old woman who's trying to ruin your life with magic.
Yeah.
Or a potion or something, right? Even though, like, by today's standards, we're supposed to say, oh, those are Wiccans.
Yeah.
That's a whole religion where they worship Satan or something. Or something. Not necessarily. I mean, there's like a lot of... It's like Druidry isn't necessarily like demonic worship, right?
You're about to have a hex placed upon you.
Place away. Add to the gallery of curses that is already consistent of my life. It'll do nothing.
Oh man.
It's like, one scream is nothing in the chorus. It's drowned out by the noise of my sad Christmases. No, that's why. This is why. I'm cursed by a witch to enjoy sad Christmas. Yeah. I was thinking about it as I was driving over here. I was like, I've been trying to figure out a way, an occasion for me to just go down to Lafarge Lake,
right,
in Coquitlam and walk around and see the Christmas lights, because I think it would be really fun to do with somebody and just like to see the thing. But if I can't find somebody, I might just do it alone.
Yeah,
and just enjoy it. I'll plug in this podcast.
Wow. And
I'll listen to this as I walk around Lafarge Lake.
That's weird. Okay, I'm going to provide some commentary then for your walk.
Nice.
As you take a step. It's ASMR now. I got weird right away. Immediately weird.
You said one line. You're like, as you take a step.
I'm not going to do that anymore.
That's fine. I'm going to enjoy this bit as I'm walking around. I bought some mini donuts last time I was there.
Oh yeah.
I was goaded into going by AD, who has been on a couple of the previous podcasts, and his fiance, soon to be wife.
Exciting.
And they made me take pictures of them while we were there.
Nice.
But I got back at them because I bought some mini donuts, and she couldn't have any because she's a celiac. Take that.
Yeah.
Sad Christmas for the win.
Wow, you judoed them.
I judoed them into...
You shoulder throwed them.
But, you know, look, you can really savor the moment of Christmas a lot.
Yeah.
Another thing I was on about is that Christmas just starts on December 25th and stretches to January 6th.
Yeah, you were talking about that last time too.
It makes sense because in my church I was wondering about it because I'm a Coptic Christian and our Christmas is supposed to be January 7th. And now it all makes sense to me that the 12 days of Christmas are from the 25th to the 6th. So that it's like, this is the period, the time period, and it goes over New Year's. And there's one thing that I was liking about it a lot when we were doing our 2023 podcast was, if your resolutions after New Year's aren't really like hitting the ground running on January 1st, give yourself a break. It's Christmas.
Nice.
You know?
Yeah.
Right? I was liking that a lot.
Yeah.
And also it's like it takes the pressure off of make this one day so special.
Yeah.
Because you have 12 of them.
Yeah.
You know?
Lovely.
You have time.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. It's the darkest period of the year.
Yeah.
The winter solstice. And then the year is going to change. You have 12 days. Chill. You know? Be sad for all of them. So, enjoy your depression throughout all of them. Man, that's got to be... If you're talking about people who are going to wake up, look in the mirror, being like, what is my life? What does a Christmas witch do?
Yeah.
When she wakes up and looks in the mirror, she's like, oh my God.
When it's not Christmas,
I couldn't just be a regular witch.
Is she just a regular witch when it's not Christmas, or is she a Christmas witch all year round?
That's a great point. Did she, like, all her fellow witches were being burned alive?
Is there a witch for every holiday?
And then she had to, like, relocate to the North Pole to escape persecution?
Yeah, is there a Labor Day witch?
Oh my God. There's just witches for every holiday. It's Canada Day. What's July 4th witch like? I wonder. She seems like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know?
I think I saw her on Reddit.
Nice.
In Walmart the other day, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was that like?
She's on ripping on her Rascal scooter.
Oh my God. That's brilliant. Shooting fireworks out of the back of it. Wearing an American flag.
Yep.
Nice.
Now we're going to get a hex from the American witch.
Add to the chorus. Add to the rubber band ball of hexes that is my life. That's, again, like, witches, it's a very broad term. So to, like, decide, you know what, I'm the Christmas witch, that's going to be my thing. Yeah. That's my identity now. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
I have no problem with this.
The Christmas witch.
It's good branding.
Yeah. And there's
I don't know what the point of view is, but what exactly is it that the Christmas witch has done?
That's true.
At all? What's your career like?
Yeah.
You know?
Is she also very old, do you think?
What are your aspirations?
Yeah.
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 Because, like, witches, traditionally, are supposed to be, like, you know, communing with the gods of nature.
Yeah.
The old gods before Christianity.
Yeah.
So they held on to the old religions. You know, and in the more extreme cases, they would be, like, trying to replicate the communion in their own rituals. You know, usually, like, you know, doing something like drawing blood from an animal and being like, oh, it's like the blood of Christ, but I spiked it with LSD or something. You know, it's like fun Christmas recipes. But to be a Christmas witch, it's like, so your thing is that you only work. It's kind of genius. You only work for 1 month in the year.
Yeah.
And assuming whatever your work really is, it's like, what is it that you're doing? Forcing people to be on the naughty list?
I guess.
Have you ever... Here's the thing. We pretend that a naughty list exists, but how many people actually, like, act upon it?
How do you mean, act upon it?
Like, how many parents have given their children coal?
Oh, I can't imagine very many.
No.
I bet even the bad... You know what?
Because you don't want to render that judgment on a kid.
No.
And just be like, you were naughty. I'm going to ruin your Christmas now. Here's a piece of coal.
Can you imagine getting a piece of coal for Christmas?
You'd be freaking rich now, wouldn't you?
Hold on to that for when the society crumbles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you seen the price of coal?
Yeah, coal. Yeah, coal's the future.
Coal is the future. Like Donald Trump said, coal is the future.
Yeah.
Everything in the North Pole is like, imagine, because we're like, it's all powered by Christmas magic and coal.
Yeah. So, just zooms out and it's just like smokestacks everywhere.
There's like a soot-covered elf. He's got to shovel it into a giant furnace. I got black lung.
That's where the gnomes are.
That's why the security elf, the guy with the eye patch, is that way.
Yeah.
Because his family comes from coal shoveling elves.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I was the first one.
He drinks to forget.
Yeah. He drinks maple syrup.
Yeah.
So I wonder if does that much sugar just kind of put you in a stupor? I wonder.
Yeah. For an elf, maybe. I have a feeling that if I just drank a bunch of maple syrup, I would just feel sick.
Do the elves like sour candy? They definitely like everything sweet, but sour candy?
Yeah, how would they react?
Give them something kind of like citrusy or lemony.
Is that the ultimate weapon? Is that how you break into the North Pole?
This is how I, this is biological warfare against the elves. I'm gonna send them citrusy fruits.
Yeah.
Just see what happens.
Yeah, it's an orange starburst.
It's like the opposite. It's like we needed not to get scurvy, but if you give them vitamin C, they start getting scurvy.
That makes sense because they definitely, That's a good point.
Yeah.
They'd be the ultimate, ship crew for, 16th century.
Oh my god. Maybe that's what they were. Christopher Columbus, he came over here and he tortured all those natives with a gang of elves.
Yeah.
Why do I always take this to dark places?
Yeah. Well, I think that's just how humanity is, I do believe Christopher Columbus brought elves to the Americas.
He was Magnus Antus. He was the next incarnation. Was Christopher Columbus Santos.
Chris Columbus? Chris Kringle? Columbus?
Wow. What is Santa's name? Is it St. Nicholas? Is it Nick Claus? Is it Chris Kringle? Where did Chris Kringle come from?
It doesn't make sense.
It sounds a little bit too close to Chris Pringle.
Yeah.
He's a chips guy.
Yeah. It must be... It's Saint Nick. It's Saint Nick. That's his name.
Saint Nick. Saint Nicholas.
What's that guy's last name? Do you know? Saint Nicholas?
Apparently it's Claus.
I guess this is an audio format. You can't really see the face I'm giving, right?
It's like a face of disapproval. I don't think that's it. But also it's like, what's your suggestion, bro?
That's true. Nicholas. Well, the thing is, I think Saint Nick, the original guy, he was Turkish or something, wasn't he? Probably.
Well, yeah, it sounds like something that would have come out of it. Being a saint means it would have been early Christianity.
Yeah.
Probably somewhere around the Middle East.
I think he punched a guy.
It was more like he gave bags of gifts and presents to people when they needed it.
Yeah.
And that just immortalized him.
Yeah.
Because I guess it was such a dark age that any act of generosity.
What's a first century early church Christmas gift look like? Let's say they did Christmas the way we do. Did Santa
only start existing in the AD? Because before that, there was the Roman holiday of Saturnalia.
Yeah.
And, Santa Claus is a very pagan figure as we know him. He uses magic.
So it was the first Santa.
He sneaks around, he waves holly. People, he's a pretty pagan figure,
Interesting.
I'm not trying to level any accusations here. I'm just, calling it like I see it.
So was the first Santa born into existence?
I mean, think about it this way. Okay, take your image of Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Red suit off, toga on.
Yeah.
Does it not look like he kind of fits in?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like an ancient Greek, ancient Roman kind of figure who in ancient Rome, like the fattest, oldest guy.
So if we're going
to show up with gifts for everybody.
But if we're going with pre-Jesus. But if we're going with Santa Claus lore, when do you think the first Santa was?
I can just see it. It's like winter solstice with the Neanderthals, and one of them goes, he like gives a rock to another one.
You know what? Oh, you know what? Okay, in the second episode of season 2, they actually mentioned they mentioned Saint Nicholas.
Yes.
The real guy.
Okay, so it
As
is
him, he's the first Santa.
Okay, so there had to be a saint, which means it was AD.
Yeah.
Probably pretty early AD.
But that's Santa Claus. Of course, we have the whole Santa verse. There is a universe in which there's caveman Santa.
Caveman Santa.
Yeah. What is he? Just has a rock.
Well, hey, maybe Caveman Santa is actually post-apocalyptic Santa.
They haven't invented bags, so he just has a rock.
No, it's like we went backwards. We got that World War IV was fought with literal sticks and stones.
Yeah.
And humanity was reduced to the Stone Age. And out of it, Santa Claus had to rise again.
Right.
Post-apocalyptic caveman Santa.
Wow.
Boom.
He's like irradiated.
Well, there's also like just apocalyptic Santa who's like just wearing goggles for no reason. Like,
yeah. He's got goggles. Well, he needs it for the dust storms.
To look through the nuclear winter.
Yeah.
Well, there's a Mad Max Santa.
Of course there is.
Of course.
Yeah.
You know, after the water wars.
Yeah.
You had to run around.
Yeah.
It's funny, you say the water wars, you always think in your head, you picture, it's like Water World. There's just water everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's more like water wars because we don't have any water.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do they fight over in Waterworld? It's land. They're trying to get land.
They're trying to get land. I think so. I never watched Waterworld.
Me neither.
I do like Mad Max. I heard they actually announced a Furiosa movie.
The trailer came. You should watch the trailer.
I'm gonna check. I'll check it out. But also make another Mad Max.
I want more Max.
I want Max Rockatansky.
If they bring him back, do you think it?
Also, Tom Hardy nailed it. I loved his.
But what are the odds he comes back? What if they just get another actor to play him?
I don't know.
Timothy Chalamet.
God help. Timothy Chalamet just played Willy Wonka.
Yeah, that.
If you want to talk about like another magical, whimsical pagan figure, it's like, that's you know.
Yeah.
I think it was like looking back at the concept of that movie, like I kind of get it, but I also think it's like, oh, you're just wasting everybody's time with this movie, Hollywood. I don't understand. You know, there wasn't really a point to it.
Yeah.
Why are we resurrecting? Like, come up with something else.
Make something cooler and new.
Timothy Chalamet just be a down on his luck magician that strikes up, you know, a candy shop and starts making kids happy? That sounds like a good movie, but then you call it Willy Wonka to like try to elicit something out of it?
Yeah.
I heard the movie was really weird. I never watched it. But
yeah, I'm not interested in that one.
I think I've only actually seen Timothy Chalamet in Dune.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even when it came out. It was like much later.
He's good in that.
Yeah.
He's a good actor.
Who would you want to see play Santa in another?
Yeah.
Because we were like throwing that around.
We talked about that a little bit.
I like the idea of diversity of Santa Clauses.
Yep.
Which is kind of like struck a bone because now you have Gabriel Iglesias who could be Mexican Santa.
Yes. Yes. I want
Kumail Nanjiani to play Indian
that'd be
Santa.
good.
Pakistani Santa. I'm not actually sure which.
He's from Pakistan.
Yeah. Pakistani Santa.
Yeah.
Who plays Black Santa?
Okay.
This is an important question.
Well, there's some good options.
Who's the guy who does the Eric Andre show?
Eric Andre?
No.
Hannibal Buress?
Hannibal Buress plays Santa.
That would be pretty good. It's gonna be old though. Well, I guess he doesn't have to be.
I could see Martin Lawrence playing Santa.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Or shoot, what's the guy?
Eddie Murphy actually just made a Christmas movie that released on Amazon.
What's it called?
It's I don't remember, but
oh,
it's something to do with like there's another type of magic, and if you don't fulfill the magic, you're gonna get turned into a Christmas toy. I'm gonna go home and watch it tonight, but it's on Amazon Prime.
Oh yeah, Billy D. Williams, who was Lando Calrissian in Star Wars.
Billy D. Williams is almost too cool to be Santa. You understand? It's like if he showed up, it's like you'd be like, "Oh my god, forget Santa. This is Billy D. Williams."
That's so true.
I love the Family Guy joke where Peter is like can't sleep, and then he turns over his pillow. He's like, "Hey Peter, I'm Billy D. Williams, and welcome to the cool side of the pillow." Which like fits in perfect. Japanese Santa.
Japanese Santa. It would be
Damn it.
Ken Watanabe? No, it'd be Tom Cruise from The Last Samurai.
It would be the guy from Bullet Train.
I guess we got them all then. Those are all the races. We did all the races.
We did all of them.
Yeah.
There's no other Santas.
No.
Chinese Santa? Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan Santa, bro. Well, now they'd probably get Donnie Yen. Jackie Chan just seems like he's too expensive. People.
He's too CCP,
That's your complaint about Jack? I'm like, at a certain point, that just can't be addressed. It can't really be fixed, can it? Hiroyuki Sanada.
Yeah,
he's a very famous Japanese actor.
Yeah.
I love him. He's in John Wick 4, which to me, again, I'm going to go to my grave saying this. John Wick 4 is one of the best movies that I have ever seen, ever. John Wick. Keanu Reeves is Santa. Yeah. He's like murder Santa. He's
Samoan Santa.
The Rock.
Yeah.
Dwayne Johnson is Santa Claus. Yeah. They've had Larry the Cable Guy play the Tooth Fairy. I feel like he could pull off.
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah.
Both Dwayne Johnson and Larry the Cable Guy in a sequel of movies played the Tooth Fairy.
That's weird.
They could both knock Santa Claus out of the park.
Yeah. I think
Rock Santa, bro.
I think if Norm Macdonald was still here, he could be Santa.
Oh, easily. He'd be a great Santa. Are you kidding me? He'd be amazing. I want Tim Dillon Santa. I want my favorite comedian to play Tim.
Of course you do.
Of course I do.
Yeah, well,
Joey Diaz Santa.
Well, okay, out of all the racial Santas, who Joey Diaz
racial Santa.
The racial Santas, who wins in a fight?
Well, Joey Diaz, because he has a gun.
That's so true.
I don't know about the rest of these people,
but Keanu Reeves Santa, bullet times.
That's also true. Rock Santa is probably up there in the final 3.
You think so?
Yeah.
He's too positive,
Well, that's the thing is, I feel like he will make Santa work in a way that few people can. It's like he will revitalize the image of Santa. You can just work out.
Bring back Santa.
Well, we're gonna bring it back. We're gonna have the energy to be Santa. He's gonna switch all the elves to kale. We're gonna He's the Santa that wakes up at 5 a.m.
Every morning I get up at 5 a.m. Check on the elves. Yeah.
Rise and shine, everybody! Time to get up. It's Christmas time.
This is my daily Santa routine. Yeah.
You got that mana. You gotta get that mana power. Who plays my depressed Santa in this movie? Who plays that
Honestly, when you were talking about earlier, I was thinking Norm Macdonald.
Norm Macdonald plays depressed Santa.
He'd be pretty good.
I need somebody. I feel like here's the thing: Norm Macdonald would be too funny.
That's the thing, because your movies, it's not funny that he's depressed. I want to make you cry. Like a solid.
I want to make you cry. It's
Kevin
James.
It's just the Kevin James, Adam Sandler, the grown-ups cast plays all the different characters.
That'll be. It's like, okay, it's the grown-ups cast, and they're the ones who killed Santa, so now all 4 of them have to be Santa.
Wow.
Chris Rock, Kevin James, the other guy, and Adam Sandler.
I think thinking about older actors who could pull off Santa with a bit of gravitas.
Who else?
Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins
he's a bit too British.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I never picture a British accent on Santa. That seems out of place, doesn't it?
No, yeah, he's always North American sounding.
Yeah, he always sounds North American.
Yeah.
I've never heard of Santa with a Norwegian accent. I don't know if that is it either.
Hello.
I love Norseman, the TV show. It's on Netflix. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I was thinking that maybe this year I could drive the sleigh. It's like, I just love the way they talk. But I don't know. You never really picture Santa with an accent.
I like Eastern Bloc Santa.
Eastern Bloc
Santa. Hello.
Every child gets coal.
We have not the resource to provide each child with coal.
Property is theft. Good children get coal. Bad children go to gulag.
Each child is presented with framed photo of Stalin.
Could Arnold Schwarzenegger now play Santa?
Be a weird Santa.
All right, everybody, prepare the sleigh. We're gonna go out. Who plays depressed Santa?
Yeah.
Now we're turning our heads over it.
Man. Okay, it's got to be an older actor.
Older actor.
He's got to be white, I assume.
I don't know. I'm flexible.
You're open to other options?
I'm flexible.
Bobby Lee.
It's not a no. It's not a no. I don't know. If Bobby Lee came in and did the audition and knocked that out of the park, I'd be like, yeah, you're
I feel like Santa. One of us is going to say a name. If we just think about it for a couple more minutes, that both of us are going to be like, yes.
I have the time. Tom Hanks has played Santa Claus. Kevin James has apparently played Santa Claus.
Of course.
Bryan Cranston has played Santa Claus.
I searched old white actors.
John Goodman.
Oh.
John Goodman.
He could do it.
Yeah, he would be pretty amazing.
He's a good actor.
I don't know. If you think about an actor, like somebody who's going to age up into the role.
Yeah, like that we might make the movie like years from now.
Yeah. Could we...
Ryan Gosling.
Yes. If you age up Ryan Gosling.
He could
get him to gain some weight for the role. Because like when Ryan Gosling is in Blade Runner and he's like staring out at something, even though he's playing a robot, he makes you sad for the robot. So you age him up a little bit.
Yeah, he's great.
Effects, costume, makeup. Have him stare into the mirror in a dive bar.
Yeah, he could do it.
Order another gin.
Harrison Ford. What about Harrison Ford as depressed Santa?
But my thing is, like, I feel like Harrison Ford 10 years ago.
Right.
Harrison Ford now, again, he's in the Joe Biden years. He's like, he's up there. He's almost too old to be Santa.
I guess. I feel like Tim Allen's the perfect age to be Santa.
Yeah, Tim Allen's nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he'd fit the bill for the depressed Santa.
He also, I feel like Tim Allen also uniquely brings the right energy to the role.
Yeah, he does.
You wouldn't want him to be any more positive than Tim Allen, or you wouldn't, believe it. You also wouldn't want him to be any less than Tim Allen, or it wouldn't be enough.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas time is here. Happiness and cheer are nowhere to be found in this dive bar, even though Santa's here.
So it's a musical, is what you're saying.
No, absolutely not. It's the one musical I can stand is the one I direct.
Yeah. Okay, what about Will Smith is Santa and he writes a rap for the movie?
So long as we get Jada Pinkett Smith to play Mrs. Claus.
Oh, never mind.
And the altercation is he slaps Cupid.
The movie's canceled.
He slaps Cupid at the Legendary Awards, and that's how we get it.
Who's the most powerful legendary? What a dumb name. That's so cringy.
It is pretty cringy. In your mind, you're like, Santa has the most apparatus around his role.
Yeah.
He has a factory. He's got an army of elves.
Presumably.
He's got a ton of magic.
Yeah.
My guess is Father Time is the most powerful because time.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Gaia is probably up there. I don't know who all the legendaries are.
No, I wouldn't know either.
It's like, who's the legendary for Halloween? Jack O'Lantern.
Yeah, from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Is that it?
It's a terrible movie. I don't like
Is
that
it?
movie. I don't like that movie.
Wow, a lot of people are like, that's my whole vibe, man.
I
don't know. I find those people strange.
Yes.
Yeah.
If people say that their favorite movie is Nightmare Before Christmas, then feel free to not associate with that person.
I'm like, hey, that person has a limit to their personality. That's all I'm saying. So are you going to finish watching the Santa Clauses? The Santa Claus TV show?
Maybe I'll finish the first season.
And still have time.
You're saying, but after the 25th I can't? Or after the January 6th? Is that
yeah, I'm saying after January 6th is inappropriate.
Dang. The greatest gift of all. An insurrection.
On
the 6th.
Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot that was a thing that happened. Because to me, it's like, I watched the actual footage of the thing happening, and it's like a rally like any other rally.
Yeah.
And then it's a bunch of citizens who paid for this government building walking into the government building.
Right.
And cops letting them into the government building.
Yeah.
And then it's not like they were rushing in there and pushing things over. They were walking around the velvet ropes.
Yeah.
It's like, they looked like tourists.
It was a strange scene.
And then people are like, this was a terrorist attack on our nation. Really? Was it?
Yeah.
I guess some people got in there with their gear and their zip ties, and I'm like, I don't know what they were planning on doing either.
Yeah.
I'm sure they were like, we never thought we'd get this far.
Yeah.
There's like one dude who took a picture of himself sitting at a desk.
Yeah.
And then he got like years of jail time.
Yeah.
Bro, I don't know if that was worth it. And there was like, even the guy with like the bison hat on, who was like the QAnon shaman, as they call them. And then the footage comes out of him later of like, he's like politely asking security which way is the exit to the building. And then like they show him like, oh, right this way, sir.
Yeah.
He's like, this is the mastermind? Like, what's going on here, guys? When the UFO debacle was going on earlier this year, the Chinese balloon wasn't showing up on their systems.
Right.
So they dialed the systems up to be able to pick up things as small as balloons. Mm-hmm. And suddenly they started noticing like that there were constantly UFOs showing up over the sky, and be like, oh,
hang on.
What's the deal with Santa and the aliens?
Perhaps he is one.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
You know, he like landed in an asteroid and decided to use his powers to give people presents once a year.
Like, it's like...
I believe the elves are aliens.
It's like the Kryptonian escape pod.
Oh my god, there's like a whole Viltrumite Santa is the thing. He came here to conquer Earth.
Opens
slowly.
Up, steam comes out.
Oh my god.
A fully formed adult Santa.
What do you want for Christmas this year, Chance?
Peace in the Middle East. No.
I mean, that'd be nice, but be nice. I'm realistic about my wants and needs.
Realistically, it's a good question.
I never know how to answer this.
I feel like...
Because I'm like, I'm an adult with money. If I wanted something, I would just go get it.
Just go get it. I think my answer is just time to chill, you know?
And like, you know, if I was to ask for a present, like something I want, I want a McLaren.
Yeah.
Like, can you buy me a McLaren?
Yeah.
No, because it would be stupid of me to ask you for that.
Yeah.
You know?
I want a Scorpion tank from Halo.
I want an M1 Abrams.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Can you give me a $61 trillion particle of antimatter? That came out in the news just a little bit yesterday, is that scientists successfully figured out how to make 1 gram of actual antimatter.
And how much did it cost?
$61 trillion, which is like 60% of the world's money.
Great.
To make 1 gram of antimatter.
Glad they did that.
I don't even know what it's for, but just to have it. It glows.
It glows?
Yeah, it's a purple.
It's a safe replacement for neon.
That's what we use antimatter for. Yeah. I don't know if I would say safe. It is antimatter.
Yeah. Does it glow or does it... All right.
Yeah, just looks like a...
Not worth it.
This is what I'm going to use as the photo for this podcast. Just for that explanation. What's the best gift you've ever given someone on Christmas?
Given.
Or let's not limit it to Christmas. Yeah. Best gift you've ever given someone at all.
Yeah.
I think my best gift that I've ever given someone was I bought my dad an espresso machine on his birthday one time. Yeah. We use it all the time. Yeah. We're so happy with this espresso machine.
Every time I go over there, you offer me a beverage.
Right?
Yeah.
Like a cappuccino for your guests.
The first Christmas that me and Megan were dating, her birthday is, funnily enough, January 6th. And
so it happened for her birthday.
Yeah. Exactly.
What a gift.
And
put the real president back in.
For Christmas, I got her tickets to, actually, funnily enough, to see The Sound of Music. And and then for her birthday, that was her Christmas gift. And then for her birthday, we went out for dinner at a really nice restaurant in Vancouver. And then went and saw the show with those tickets. It was just the greatest night. Yeah.
That's lovely.
Yeah. I know you know about this, but like when you go out for dinner and you kind of just like, because sometimes when I go out for dinner, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna get my meal, get a water or something, you know? But sometimes you go out for dinner and it's like, I'm not even gonna worry about the numbers next to what I'm ordering.
Oh, bro.
You know?
Bro.
Yeah.
Listen to 2 episodes back.
Oh, I know.
High's Steakhouse. First off, there was a time when I was just a water guy. That time is over. I go all out at restaurants. I'm like, this is what life is for. Because after this meal, I'm gonna go back to the bleak nothing of winter.
Yeah.
This is the only thing that matters, right? That's why Christmas is so important.
Yeah.
It's because it is the little hearth. It is the little twinkling of the light in the darkness.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And outside of that is the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
So enjoy it. And then look outside the window, away from the fireplace, into the black of night where you see things freezing and the fog is looming right now. And just remember to be a little sad this year.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, how else are you supposed to appreciate this holiday?
That's right.
With Jesus? I'm just kidding. From the bottom of my heart, I wish you all happy holidays and Merry Christmas. Enjoy all 12 days.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy your New Year.
May Goblin Santa bless you with his bountiful sack.
You may notice that the episode that I'm editing right now, it will come out very soon. It's called it's episode 41. And this episode, our Christmas episode, which comes out right after, is going to be 43. Because I'm saving that very special number for a very special podcast, which will happen in the new year. 42. Life, the universe, and everything. Coming very soon here on The Forest Creek. You can follow us at The Forest Creek on our social media and podcasting platforms, as well as youtube.com/@TheRealForestCreek. I am Raph.
I'm Chance.
Merry Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Boom,
Happy
boom, boom, boom. Jack Frost dipping in